I decided it was time to revisit an old friend.
You'll never guess where I am again. Yeah, I'm back at the old classic cliched fairy tree over at Fairy Lake near Port Renfrew. Quite possibly the most photographed tree in the world after Portland Japanese Gardens maple and the New Zealand Wanaka tree. After that, I reckon this is the most photographed.
No.
What do you reckon is then?
It's not. You don't get people coming from all over the world to photograph this tree.
Well, not anymore, you don't.
I was thinking of taking a picture of this and then chopping it down. What do you think?
Just so that you can be the last one.
Yeah.
You'd chop it down then, would you?
Oh yeah. I mean, just up the hill here, they don't seem to have a problem with cutting trees down up there. So what's wrong with this one? Just cut them all down.
We've opened up a can of worms now. God, I've been shooting the same shot for 5 minutes, and the one time that I stopped shooting video, a bloody fish jumps out of the water. That would have been brilliant. Anyway, so in order to shoot this fairy tree, there's two things that you have to deal with. One is you've literally got to be in the middle of the highway to get the best shot during summer because of all the shrubbery. It's really tight.
Can you pucker your buttocks a bit so you can get your tripod in?
They're permanent puckered. Perma-puckered. And then the other thing is you've got to get really close to Grumpatious. I mean, look at this. This is just...
We're kind of in the way, man.
It's just rude. You've penetrated my triangle of tripod privacy. You're encroaching on the sacred tripod space.
You're enjoying it, really, aren't you?
I am.
And then Wayne had to embarrass both of us by bringing out the big guns.
Just step ladder. Show off.
Your tripod just jostled me jewels there.
I saw you rubbing up against the leg.
Now it's round about this point where I would usually explain my composition, but as you can see, it's about as simple as it gets.
Okay, what I'm trying to do with this shot is I'm going to get my standard exposures that have two different ranges of background blur. One at f16, so everything's pretty sharp from front to back, and then one at f5.6, there's a little bit of background blur. And then once I'm back to my f5.6, which is obviously a faster exposure, I want to try and time it so that I can get a shot when there's like a little water droplet, like just there. There's sometimes you get this little, I don't know whether it's a drop of rainwater or if it's just a little fish coming up from underneath, but it creates this lovely little ripple that works its way out from the center. So you've got to go on single shooting mode to get that and just hit the shutter when it happens. So that is what I'm trying to do now. Hopefully I don't miss it. I missed this fish actually jumped out earlier, so that annoyed me.
Annoyed me too. How come yours looks so much more greener than mine?
Because I'm just really that good. Well, I just play with my white balance, so it's on auto. So I think cloud is probably the best one. Just waiting. Just
What I love about this image is the motion blur in the reflection from that long exposure. With some selective contrast and dodging of the highlights, that was all that it needed.
Well, I reckon I got a decent shot. What about you, Grumpton? Did you get your shot?
I got my shot years ago, but I'm just, humouring you. Yeah, I think I did actually get a pretty good shot. I think I got a good shot at like a pano.
Yeah, pano. You're a bit of a pano nutcase right now.
My pano camera.
Yeah, well, it's a big one. So I think we'll head back to the campsite and enjoy a nice campfire, eh?
Yeah.
A wee dram.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Alright, let's do that. Right, so we're back at the campground and I can see Adam's got a lovely cosy fire going. What are you doing?
I'm making a fire.
That's my book.
I've read it. I've read the best bits.
You didn't like it then?
Well, some of it. I mean, really.
That's one of the best ones.
Well, maybe to some people.
There's a link in the description.
Well, I knew my book was hot, but now it was literally on fire. We had to get an early night and a solid sleep for tomorrow morning's shoot.
Well, it's 9 AM. I've had, I think 8 hours of sleep. But I do have a face like a microwaved mango. But I'm still quite happy because today... Today, we're off down to a very special cave that has a waterfall that pours right into it, if there's enough water volume, and if there is, I think we'll get a killer shot. Anyway, so we've got about 15 kilometres to cover. I reckon it's time that I visited the lovely looking outhouse. We'll see what that's like over there. Are you going to be much longer, Adam?
Yeah, I'm just coming out, hang on.
Have you got any ship tickets?
Oh yeah.
Sorry, love. Right, so we're off down into this cave, which hopefully has a waterfall pouring into it. So you've got the climbing rope, and you've got your
SOS beacon.
So we're playing it safe. We should be all right, eh? Let's crack on.
And then Evel Knievel shows up on his posh new wheels. What a show off, eh? The Ancient One was looking for trouble, and he was gonna find it.
So Gavin, what's this waterfall gonna be like?
Oh, you're gonna love it, mate. It's absolutely beautiful. It's this waterfall that just pours into this green cave.
Quite honestly, I don't know what had gotten into the Ancient One, but all of the clues were pointing to a midlife crisis. What with his noisy new chopper, his Dick Turpin haircut, medium format camera, and his addiction to danger. He insisted on being the first to climb down into the cave to prove his studliness. I mean, what's next for Adam? A spray tan, vape pen, and some new eyebrows that are 2 inches thick? And so I got busy roping the camera bags down because, as you well know, I never do dangerous things. I'm a model of safety and responsibility. It's clear that Adam was a bad influence, as this was all his idea. But at least I knew what he was like, while poor old Wayne was left wondering what the hell he'd gotten himself into, as Grumpton just wandered off to enjoy the view. But I can't really blame him. After making a new friend, I was relieved to see that Wayne had survived, so I took a minute just to take it all in and soak up the atmosphere.
So we've successfully made it into the cave. That was a little bit sketchy, I've got to admit. And the sketchiest bit wasn't climbing down the cliff, it was just walking on the slippery rocks. They're so slimy. But anyway, this is this famous waterfall inside this beautiful cave. And I think what does it for me, what excites me the most about this place and this composition is just the amazing shapes and textures of these rocks. Obviously the waterfall, but all of this beautiful greenery that you can see around it. So the colours are black, green and white. Lots and lots of contrast and lots of dynamics. But also the shapes. The shapes really make this an interesting scene. We're a little bit nervous about these waves that are breaking into this cave mouth. Apparently it's low tide, but it still looks quite sketchy. So we're gonna kind of blast through this, rush it a little bit, which is not ideal, but I don't really feel too comfortable hanging around here for too long. So we'll get our shots and then we'll get out.
So while I do like this shot, it's almost identical to a shot that I made here several years ago, and I was hoping to create something different this time. And then, an opportunity presented itself as the light began to paint the cliffs.
Okay, well, I'm now shooting the opposite side of the cave, the way that we came in. So this is where we came in. As you can see, these waves are crashing in. And it makes for a spectacular picture, but it's making us very, very twitchy, because if we get cut off by these waves, you know, we could be in quite serious trouble. So we've been watching it, we've been keeping an eye on it, and there's these lulls, and then there's these periods where it gets kind of sketchy. So we're going to wait for the next lull and just get out of here. So I don't really have the time to talk you through this shot, but if it turns out any good, well, here's the shot.
What makes this shot special to me is that lovely reflected light from those glowing cliffs, and this had been a fantastic adventure, but it was definitely time to climb back to safety.
These are brilliant boots, they really keep the water in.
Yeah, waterproof, totally waterproof.
Yeah, my feet are totally dry on the outside.
So what did you guys learn from this little adventure that we just had?
I think that was really stupid.
Yeah, that's it.
Stay with me.
It was something that I would have done when I was about 19.
Bring a ladder next time.
Well, yeah, the plan was to bring a ladder.
But it was exhilarating and exciting at the same time.
Yeah.
Very nerve-wracking.
I was reliving my youth.
You're climbing youth.
Yeah.
I think for me, what I learned is that I'm now old, and the wear and tear on my body means I shouldn't be doing stuff like this.
Yeah, it's hard getting out.
I was actually really surprised I was able to carry you on my back up that ladder.
It was very heroic of
It
you.
was.
Thanks for that.
And then I'd Wayne on the other side. Come on, Gavin. Really? Well, some of it. I mean, really.
That's one of the best ones.
Well, you know, maybe to some people.
But that's my book.
Yeah, but I've read it. Well, the best bits anyway. What little there was.
Are you going to be much longer, Adam?
Yeah, I'm just coming out, hang on.
Have you got any ship tickets?
Oh yeah.
That's so good. He's a way better actor than I am. Oh, have you got any ship tickets?
Yeah.
Tell you what, this beats sleeping in a tent, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's so cozy.
Cozy.
No bugs.
No bugs here.
What's that smell, though?
That's my manly musk.
Smells like an outhouse.
Musk. Manly musk.
You know there's a shower in here, right?
Well, yeah, but, I mean, you know, you gotta get stinky first before you get in the shower. It's been one night.
That's all it takes.
Cheeky sauce.
Delightful. Tell you what, I'm just gonna creep over here.
Get back here.
I don't mind it, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Like a wet dog.